Okay, this is AP Statistics 2025 free response questions number 5. This is a sample answer. So if I was to answer this on my own, this is what I would get. Okay, so number 5 says, according to a 2017 national survey in Country B, the mean number of bedrooms in newly built houses was 2.9. Rodney, a researcher, believes the mean number of bedrooms in newly built houses in the country was different in 2024 than it was in 2017. So I'm going to make sure I highlight that because this is Rodney's claim. This is what he believes. He believes that they're different. To investigate his belief, he took a large random sample of a newly built houses in Country B in 2024 and recorded the number of bedrooms in each house. The distribution of the number of bedrooms for the sampled houses is summarized in the table. So here we have a table for number of bedrooms, 1 through 6, and then the proportion that these bedrooms were in each of the houses. Part A, Part 1 says a house from the sample will be selected at random. What is the probability that the house has fewer than 3 bedrooms? Show your work. So fewer than 3 bedrooms is the same as saying the probability of x less than 3, where x is representing the number of bedrooms. Probability of x less than 3 is the same as saying the probability of x equals 1 plus the probability of x equals 2. And if you see on the table, we have those probabilities here. So this is equal to 0.12 plus 0.22, which is equal to 0.34. Part 2 says, what is the mean number of bedrooms for the sample of newly built houses in 2024? Show your work. So in order to find this one, I'm going to scroll down for some space down here. So this is Part 2. In order to find that, what we do is we multiply the number of bedrooms by the proportion of those bedrooms in each of the houses. So that means mu of x bar is going to equal to 1 times 0.12 plus 2 times 0.22 plus 3 times 0.28 plus 4 times 0.22 plus 5 times 0.14, and then lastly plus 6 times 0.02. Put that in your calculator and you get 3.1. So this is representing, on average, there's about 3.1 bedrooms in each house. Part B says Rodney will use a one sample t-test for a population mean to test his belief. Part 1 says, in the context of Rodney's investigation, state the hypotheses for the test. Okay, so stating the hypotheses for B Part 1. The null hypothesis is that mu is equal to 2.9. So that is the original claim that there's about 2.9 bedrooms per house. The alternative hypothesis is mu is not equal to 2.9, and that is Rodney's claim. He feels like that number is different, but he doesn't give us a direction. He doesn't say greater than or less than, so we just put mu is not equal to 2.9. B Part 2 says, explain in context what a type 1 error would be for Rodney's hypothesis test. So this is B Part 2. So remember, a type 1 error is when the null hypothesis is true, but we choose to accept the alternative hypothesis. So I would answer this as a type 1 error would be that the true mean bedrooms is 2.9, but we find convincing evidence that it's not 2.9 bedrooms. And then lastly, part C says a different researcher, Keisha, suggests using a confidence interval to investigate whether the mean number of bedrooms in a newly built house in 2024 in country B was different from 2.9. Assume the conditions for inference have been met. Using Rodney's data, Keisha calculated a one sample 97% confidence interval to estimate the population mean as 3.01, 3.19. Based on the confidence interval, what conclusion can be made for Rodney's hypothesis test in part B at alpha equal to 0.03? Justify your answer. So I'm going to clear this for part C. So first we would look at the interval and we would see if 2.9 is in that interval. Since 2.9 is not in that interval, then this implies that 2.9 is not a possible value. So I would answer this as since 2.9 is not in the 97% confidence interval, then this implies that 2.9 is not a possible value. For the mean number of bedrooms. This means that Rodney would reject the null hypothesis. Rodney would reject the null hypothesis since 2.9 was not in that interval. That means that he would have to reject the null hypothesis at alpha is equal to 0.03. And he would have convincing evidence for his claim that the number of bedrooms is different from 2.9.